guys, welcome to another episode. Today we're going to be doing a little bit different. We're not fishing today, but I will do a boat kind of walk around with you guys. I've had this boat for a little while. It's the boat you guys are going to see in a lot of future videos. I think I got it last year for my birthday or Christmas, one of the two, and my brother and I both split ownership. All right, so as you can see behind me, this is the boat. It's a 14-foot G3, so basically Yamaha makes it. It is the wide version, so it's got plenty of room in there compared to my last boat, which was a 12-foot skinny, so it was a little wobbly. This one's a lot more stable. As you can see, it's got a beautiful Yamaha 20 horse on it. This is a 4-stroke motor, so this thing will get this thing up on plane pretty easy, even with 2 people, no problem. Gets up on plane, and it's out of the hole it's pretty quick, so it's pretty good. So I'll show you a couple features we got going here. One is this Minn Kota power drive saltwater edition trolling. So a little disclaimer here, as you can see, that mat is not the same as the rest of them. I was going on a fishing trip and it flew out of the boat, so that looks kind of ghetto. I'm gonna have to buy a separate one of these, probably from Home Depot, I think is where we got them. So I have to buy another one of those and fit it up, which is fine. But when I got the boat, it had horse mat in it, and if you guys don't know what horse mat is extremely heavy. It's like this thick, and it's very rigid, so it was good for the floor, but it was so heavy. It probably weighed, the amount of horse mat for this section and for this section, I mean, I'd say it was probably 150 pounds. I mean, it was probably the weight of an extra person, and this boat struggled to get up and on plane with this little 20 horse on it. So we got rid of that and made all of this, but of course foam flies away apparently, so that is that. And it also has a live well, which is a really cool thing about this boat. I know a lot of these boats don't have live wells. It's pretty big, honestly. It's got a lot of room. I mean, you can fit a bunch of crappie in there, catfish, I mean, whatever you wanted. Fill it with ice or storage. Sometimes we use it for storage if we're not going for meat. But we put all this down here because otherwise that sounds like a sound that would scare a lot of fish away. But anyway, it's got a pump that comes from the back. You press a button on the control panel, which I'll show you guys in a minute. It's actually this right here, this button right there, turns that pump on, and it sucks lake water to refill this. It's also got a hole in the bottom of it with a thing that screws out, so you can kind of refresh the amount of water in it. So that's really cool. I love that this boat has that, because sometimes when I go out and want to keep some meat, and hopefully we'll do some catch and cooks in this boat soon. So that's awesome. Also, this motor, this Yamaha 4-stroke here, I'll show it to you, is a tiller motor. So you can see here, this is your throttle. You got your in gear, reverse, neutral. And you see you got the gas tank down there, the battery. The electrical system is kind of janky. The guy we bought it from kind of did like a homemade job. He installed some lights and some other things. 2 pumps, a bilge pump and a pump that goes to the live well, which I'll show you guys in a minute. But a lot of the electrical is exposed, and over time I'm just gonna have to keep picking it away and getting it better and better. But for now, it works pretty good. All right, so the next thing I wanted to show you guys, well, that's gonna be in the way. is this control panel here. This thing's pretty cool. It's something the owner put in before. It's got a 12 volt thing, so you can plug a car charger in there, charge your phone. This is like a Bluetooth or a USB connection, so it's pretty cool. You can just charge your phone straight from the cord. You can see the battery voltage. This is the pump that goes into the live well. This is the pump that shoots water out the back. These are all lights. Actually, that might be one that doesn't work. Some of these don't work. Okay, so you see right here, this blue light just came on. There's supposed to be that blue light and this blue light. It doesn't work. This, oh, that turns on this side. So there's supposed to be, these two right here are supposed to be white lights. The white lights don't work for whatever reason. I don't know why, if they just got corroded or if they need new bulbs or what. The white lights don't work, but there's also, let me turn these on. Pretty cool. It's got a little green dock light on the back. See here, you can see right here. So that's pretty cool. Got a little dock light. And when you're coming in at night, and it's nice to have all these lights so you can really see what's in the boat. You can see what you're doing. It also has legal lights here, and then also has a pretty cool little system. It's basically just a stand-up flashlight that we rigged a GoPro mount to, and it GoPro mounts to the top of the motor right there, so you can put it on, and that's your white light that you have to have if you're running at night. So that way you can be legal running at night and have no problems with that. The other boat, the Little John boat that I used to have, did not have a GPS, and I'm not very good with this, but I'm starting to learn how to read the electronics and how to, when I'm on a lake, be able to map the bottom, set waypoints and all that, which really is pretty helpful. I mean, you don't need this giant Lowrance thing that a lot of these big bass boats have. This really does just fine. I'll take it off for you guys. This is a Garmin Echo map. It has like a chip that goes in it that loads a lot of lakes that you can get. I'm not sure where you can get it from, but this one doesn't have that. So it's kind of, you go to a lake and you kind of on your own, you can set up waypoints. You can see like side imaging, back imaging, radar, depth. I mean, it really does show you a lot, and I've been using it out on the lake here to see where I can drop some piles for crappie and stuff. So I might be doing a video on that later as well. So it's pretty cool. Guys, so this is the first rod. I had a 6.6 medium heavy like Bass Pro rod. It was my first like real spinning setup, and I fished with that rod till like a year and a half ago, and it just wasn't cutting it anymore. I started getting more into bass fishing, and just wasn't very versatile. It was too short, a little too stiff for a lot of stuff I wanted to do. So I got this rod. This rod is a Croix Rods Salute version. It's kind of like a special edition they did. It's got a red, white, and blue pinstripes on it there, so you can see Croix Salute. It is a 7-foot medium heavy-ish. It doesn't specify. It's based on weight, but I think the tip is pretty soft. It's more or less like a medium than it is a medium heavy, but it does have a pretty thick backbone. So as we see, we have on here the infamous watermelon red fluke. As you guys have been watching the videos, the last video we caught a bunch of fish on that red fluke, and if you guys haven't seen that, that'll be the last video. Go check that out. All right, next is a bait casting setup. This is the first bait casting setup I ever had. My friend Kent was big into bait casting, and I kind of got him into fishing, and he started getting into bait casting. I was like, oh no, bait casters are trash, bait casters are trash. Because I had always fished with spinning gear my whole life, but he finally convinced me to get this, and I decided to go with the Abu Garcia Black Max. It's a really cheap reel. It's not very great quality. I'm not trashing on Abu Garcia, they make a lot of great stuff, but this is a great first beginner's reel. It doesn't backlash super easy if you have the brakes and the brakes and the this dial set up correct. I have 15 or 20 pound braid on here right now. I fish with braid, that's actually the same braid, so I think it's 15-pound braid on that salute as well. I fish with braid mostly here in Florida, fishing a lot of grass, a lot of pads and stuff like that, so braid is kind of need to get fish away from it. This is a Daiwa rod. It's cheap. It was like $55. It is also a 7-foot medium heavy, so it's kind of a great all-around beginner setup, beginner rod, beginner reel, just something that I've gotten used to the bait caster, and now I'm ready for something a little better. But here's something cool I caught a fish on yesterday. I'm trying to try new ways of fishing. This is obviously a paddle tail swim bait. I don't remember what brand this is, but it's on a flashbang is what it's called. I got this off Carl's Bait and Tackle, so this is where you can get almost all of this stuff on Carl's Bait and Tackle. But that's a really cool setup, something a little different, something a little flashier. Set that there. All right, here's my third setup here. This is my newest setup. I got this for Christmas. This is basically a pretty, considered a very nice spinning setup. This is a Stradic CI4. This is the brand new one that they've only been out with for I think like 6 months now. Got this on 15-pound Invisibraid from Spiderwire. This reel is great. It's a 2500 size, so it's perfect for some saltwater, snook, redfish, whatever, and also is small enough and light enough for bass and all that. Obviously on here I have a little crappie setup going on. I was crappie fishing last night, so got a bobber and everything on here. But this rod, which is awesome, this is a St. Croix Premier rod. It is a 7/6 medium with a fast action. So basically the tip is very sensitive. I keep getting wrapped up because of the bobber. The tip's very sensitive, and overall it's much longer than my other two rods, a little bit more finesse. This is what I fish any jerkbaits on, just because I like how it, you know, makes them act, just being a little bit of a lighter rod. But this is a very nice setup, by far my favorite setup, and this is what I fish with a lot of the time if I'm doing any finesse stuff, which down here in Florida I do a lot of. So that's that. Guys, thank you for tuning into the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I enjoy making these videos for you guys. Trying to put out at least a video a week for you guys. I know I didn't do one last week, but this was just something quick, something easy, something fun that I can do for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for the view. Hit like, hit subscribe, you know, support the channel, and I'll see you guys next time on the next episode.